She stood at the checkout counter, heart pounding, unsure how she'd feed her baby. Then, a stranger behind her pulled out his card. Subscribe for more powerful real-life stories. It was the winter of 2005 in a quiet town in Illinois. Snow fell gently outside the windows of a small grocery store. Inside, a young mother named Lisa stood at the checkout line. In one arm, she held her 6-month-old baby. In the other, a nearly empty wallet. Inside her cart, formula, diapers, bread, and a few essentials. The cashier rang up the items. $42.73, he said. Lisa's stomach dropped. She swallowed hard and whispered, I'm sorry. I'll have to put some things back. The line behind her grew impatient. People sighed. One woman rolled her eyes. Lisa kept her gaze down, ashamed and on the verge of tears. Then, a voice behind her said softly, "Don't worry about it." "I've got it." She turned to see a man in his late 50s, worn coat, soft eyes. He stepped forward, handed his debit card to the cashier and said, "Add it all." "Please." Lisa froze. "Sir, I can't accept this, really." But the man just smiled gently. "One day when you can help someone else, that's all I ask." He didn't give his name. He didn't wait for thanks. He simply said, "Life has a funny way of coming full circle." And then he walked out the door, disappearing into the snowy night. Lisa stood there frozen, tears streaming down her cheeks, holding her baby, and a receipt she couldn't believe. She never forgot his face, his voice, that moment. What she didn't know was that 20 years later, she would see him again. And this time, she'd be the one holding the card. 2 decades later, fate brought them back together, but under very different circumstances. 20 years had passed. Lisa was now Dr. Lisa Raymond, a successful cardiologist at a major hospital. She had built her life from nothing: scholarships, sleepless nights, and endless sacrifice. But one thing had never left her: the memory of the stranger at the grocery store, the man who saved her when she had no one. She never found out his name, but in her heart, she had made a silent vow. If fate ever gave her the chance, she'd repay him. One stormy night, the ER received a critical patient, an elderly man, collapsed on the street, unconscious, heart failing, no wallet, no insurance, no family on file. As the staff discussed transferring him to a city hospital, Lisa walked in. She looked at the man's face. Her breath caught in her throat. She whispered, "No way." His face was older, tired, but unmistakable. She checked his records. Name: Thomas Blake. Retired. Lived alone. Worked decades at a local grocery store. Lisa's eyes filled with tears. It's him. She took over his care immediately. Brought in the best team. Signed off every cost herself. "No transfers. He stays here. I'll handle it." Days passed. He was unconscious, fighting to live, but she never left his side. Then finally, he opened his eyes. "Am I still alive?" he asked, voice raspy. Lisa smiled gently. "Yes, and you're going to be okay." He looked around. "I don't have insurance or money. I can't afford this." Lisa took his hand. 20 years ago, you helped a young mother. You paid for her groceries when she had nothing. That mother was me." Thomas blinked, shocked. His lips quivered. "You, Lisa." Tears welled up in his eyes. Lisa smiled. "You saved me. Today, I got to save you." That's how life works sometimes. Weeks later, after a full recovery, Thomas was moved to a quiet, assisted living home. Lisa paid for everything. She visited often. They would sit by the garden, share coffee, and laugh. One day, he said, "I never thought a simple act would come back like this." Lisa smiled. Kindness always comes back, just not always when or how we expect it. Life lesson? True kindness isn't measured by the price of what you give, but by the timing, the intention, and the heart behind it. Thomas didn't help Lisa because he had much. He helped her because he knew how much a small act can mean when you have nothing. And Lisa didn't repay him to settle a debt. She did it because his kindness never left her heart. In the end, It wasn't money that saved him. It was the ripple of a good deed, returning home after 20 years. If this story moved you, tell us. What's one small act of kindness someone did for you that you'll never forget? Drop it in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe to Minutes of Moral, where every story is real and every minute brings a deeper meaning.